1942. Europe is under the grip of Axis occupation. For agents of the Special Operations Executive, or SOE, dropping behind enemy lines meant operating in an environment saturated with enemy spies and heavily armed patrols. Their mission profiles frequently demanded targeted eliminations. That meant walking directly up to a Gestapo officer or a sentry, firing at point-blank range, and slipping away before anyone realized what had happened. The problem was the sheer volume of a standard firearm. A typical 9mm pistol produces a crack at around 160 decibels. Firing one in a quiet hotel corridor guaranteed an immediate swarm of guards, leading directly to capture and a firing squad. A conventional weapon was a death sentence for a covert operative. To survive, they required a specialized tool that left absolutely no acoustic trace. The initial workaround was simple. Take a standard semi-automatic handgun, like the American, high-standard HDMS, and thread a metal silencer onto the barrel. But a muzzle attachment doesn't solve a physics problem known as port pop. When a semi-automatic fires, the slide is blown backward, opening the breech. High-pressure propellant gas instantly escapes from this opening, directly next to the shooter's ear, producing a loud, sharp crack. Then there is the physical action of the gun itself. You have a heavy block of metal violently reciprocating backward and forward, slamming into the frame. That mechanical clatter pets clearly through a quiet night. Finally, the semi-automatic action automatically ejects the spent brass casing onto the floor. That leaves behind a definitive physical footprint for counterintelligence investigators. To analyze, muffling the barrel is only a partial fix. True clandestine assassination requires the total elimination of both mechanical sound and physical evidence. The British War Office recognized this gap and turned to the Inter-Services Research Bureau. This was a highly classified research facility hidden on an estate called the Frith, near the village of Welwyn, operating under the designation Station Nikes. Station Nikes was staffed by brilliant, unconventional engineers like Major Hugh Reeves. They were tasked with inventing sabotage gear from scratch, giving each of their prototypes a coding name starting with the prefix WELL. This team approached problems laterally. If paratroopers needed mobility, they didn't modify an existing vehicle. They built the WELL bike, a tiny collapsible motorcycle designed specifically to fit inside an airdrop canister. Their entire philosophy was to invent highly specialized, single-purpose tools from the ground up, refusing to compromise by merely adapting standard military equipment. Major Reeves looked at the failures of suppressed handguns and inverted the design process. Instead of trying to silence a gun, he decided to build a thermodynamic gas trap that just happened to fire a bullet. The result was the Welrod. The name combined the Welwyn prefix with rod, an American gangland slang term for a gun, intentionally chosen to obscure its lethal purpose on shipping manifests. It didn't even look like a firearm. It was essentially an unmarked steel cylinder with a hard rubber grip. To a casual observer or a passing enemy sentry, it closely resembled a harmless bicycle pump. To solve the noise of a reciprocating slide, Reeves utilized a manual bolt-action mechanism. The operator twists a knurled knob, pulls it back to clear the chamber, and pushes it forward to lock the next round in place. Because the action is entirely manual, the spent brass casing remains trapped inside the breech after firing. The operative can extract the casing quietly and put it in their pocket, leaving zero metallurgical evidence at the scene. Reverting to a single shot, manual action neatly bypassed the first two hurdles of covert operations. It silenced the mechanical operation and captured the physical trace evidence. That left the final and most difficult problem containing the explosive muzzle blast for this. Reeves designed a complex integrated suppressor. The short barrel is drilled with a series of small holes. As the bullet travels down the rifling, these ports allow the expanding high-pressure gas to bleed out, into a surrounding expansion chamber before the projectile even reaches the muzzle. Beyond the metal baffles lies the core of the Welrod silence. Multiple wipes, discs made of solid, unperforated rubber. When the first shot is fired, the bullet physically punches its own hole through the rubber. Because of the material's elasticity, the wipe instantly self-seals behind the base of the bullet. This physical barrier traps the remaining explosive gases inside the tube, forcing them to cool and dissipate slowly. Station 9 even engineered specific tradecraft to maximize the silence. The muzzle cap was made slightly concave, designed to be pressed directly into the target's flesh. This sealed the end of the barrel, absorbing any tiny fraction of escaping sound and flashed directly into the target's body. The result of this engineering was an execution that registered at approximately 73 decibels. To anyone standing in the next room, it sounded no louder than a snapping finger. The weapon saw extensive use with Danish resistance fighters who utilized its silence to eliminate Gestapo targets in crowded, daylight streets, often walking away before the public realized a shot had been fired. Its utility lasted far beyond the Second World War. During the Vietnam War, highly classified U.S. MSCV SOG teams carried the Welrod alongside the semi-automatic high-standard HDMS on cross-border missions. The operators used the two weapons for distinctly different tasks. The semi-automatic high-standard was ideal for rapid-fire prisoner snatches in the jungle. But when a mission required a planned single-shot assassination with zero acoustic footprint, they reached for the Welrod. Other suppressed weapons modernized for tactical firefights, but the Welrod maintained its position as the undisputed tool for close quarters, single-shot deniability. The longevity of the Welrod, remaining a sterile, untraceable weapon for decades, speaks to how precisely its design fulfilled its specialized role. Across Western Europe, Welrods were packed in grease and buried in secret Operation Gladio stay-behind caches, waiting to arm civilian resistance cells in the event of a Soviet invasion. It even served in a classified posting behind the Iron Curtain. It sat in the arms vaults of the U.S. Army's Covert Detachment A in Berlin, kept ready to silently dispatch East German sentries if the Cold War ever turned hot. Station 9 created a weapon by ignoring standard military requirements in favor of a covert operative's specific needs. To this day, the Welrod's original blueprints remain classified in the United Kingdom.